Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday racing preview. Ahead of tomorrow, we've got a fantastic day of racing. Once again tomorrow, spring's really starting to come into the play now. We've got a great meeting at Randwick tomorrow. We've got the Group 2 Silver Shadows for the 3-year-old fillies. We've got the Group 3 Moss and Cooper Show County Quality. And we've also got the Wink Stakes Weight for Age Group 1. We've got the Toy Show Quality, which is for fillies and mares, a Group 3 race there. So really looking forward to this. Also the up-and-coming stakes for the 3-year-olds in a Group 3. So stacks of group racing at Randwick. Of course, as I mentioned, a great meeting at Moonee Valley as well. We'll also be looking at meetings, of course, around the tracks of the new feature that we are doing on this video, or I guess on my channel, and also on my social media pages. If you haven't done so, go and check them out. Of course, look at Instagram, _racing tips, and on Facebook, C-Lane Racing Tips. Look, the other meetings for around the tracks, we're going to be looking at just the Gold Coast and Morphettville tomorrow. So stay tuned for that in the videos to come. Now, looking last week at the Victorian meetings, did quite well. I mean, it was a good win by Mystic Journey, knocked out our top pick in Hartnell. But I did have Hartnell, Mystic Journey, Cliff's Edge up there, as well as 50 Stars who do run on okay. So if you haven't done so already, go and check out my video from a few days ago where I produced all my results from last week's tips and also runners to watch ahead of spring. I think it's a really good thing that we're going to start getting going, looking at runners to I guess follow along into the spring that look to be making some progression. So keep an eye on that. Anyway, straight to Moonee Valley tomorrow. At the moment, track ratings are soft 5. We've got a bit of showers around at the moment, so there's I think that maybe we could get into the soft 6, soft 7. It's a pretty nice day outside at the moment, but we've still seen a bit of rain here and there. But I'd say I'm pretty confident we'll be working in those soft conditions, and as such, the form's been done in that way. Look at race number 1. Look, I'm happy to be with, it's over 600 metres, sorry, I'll just put that out there. But I'm happy to be with number 3, Juniper, for the Kieran Maher David Eustace stable, who are absolutely flying at the moment. This horse steps back from 2,000 metres where it ran home pretty well behind Tavy Run. I thought it was a pretty good run. Prior to that, I mean, it was only 2.5 lengths behind Baccarat Baby in a mile race there as a Group 3. And then prior to that, it was 2.4 lengths off Colding at Eagle Farm. So, look, I think that's some very good form. It's far superior to what it faces here. Look, has a sticky gate in barrier 13, but if you have a look at the speed map, there's a little bit of speed in the race, so I think it might be able to posse up. I mean, looking inside of it, I'd say Rebellious Lord, Shot of Irish, and Wenner will all getting forward, so it'll have some room to find a spot in behind the speed, maybe a couple of pairs back. So I still think it'll get a really nice run of the race. I think it'll be very hard to beat. So I've got it on top. Number 3, Juniper, very nice each way odds. To beat number 6, Connery. Now, I haven't given up on this horse, so I've always had a bit of an opinion of it. It was pretty good last time out at Sandown behind Inverlock. I thought that was a pretty good run in a benchmark 84. Prior to that, was competing in benchmark 90s and an open class race. Steps back to the benchmark 78 here. Michael Poy gets a 2-kilo claim. It just has barrier 15, which looks, due to the speed map, to be a bit of a difficult run. But I think if it can produce a top performance, it will go really close to winning here at the $16 odds and $4.60 the place. In for third, I like number 11, Something Silver. I thought this horse was really good last time out, winning at Moonee Valley in a Fillies Mares benchmark 84. Steps back to the benchmark 78. Gets Damien Oliver on board. Gets to the wet going to 5 starts on the soft for 2 wins and 2 placings. So I really like it. Another thing I want to mention is to start prior. At the Pakenham Synthetic track, it was behind I Am Vinny. Of course, that horse has come out and won since at Randwick on the Kingston track last week at huge odds. The form out of that race is just terrific. There's a few more subsequent winners out of that race, so I think the form is really strong out of that race. So I'm happy to have it in for third with Damien Oliver in the saddle, and barrier 3 looks to be quite nice. And I also like this horse at a bit of odds as well, just for the simple fact of Something Silver $6. This horse, Dane Thunder, is paying $16. Johnny Allen in the saddle gets barrier 1. This horse was on speed and was in that I Am Vinny race. As I mentioned, the form's really good. It wasn't that far behind Something Silver. Something Silver's $6, this horse 18. So I think this horse got a great chance at big odds. Sorry, $16 and $4.60 the place. So if you want to have a go at Dane Thunder, I would not be saying no to that. Looking at, comes obviously back on top of the ground, does get through the wet going, so that 8 starts on the soft for a win and 4 placings. And it's deep in its prep, but it did have a bit of a spell between runs. It didn't run between the 25th of May and the 21st of July, so it had a bit of a spell between runs, and of course now it's had about 4 weeks off. So this horse has been really freshened by Matt Kamani. I just think that perhaps it might be one to watch if we're going to be tipping something silver on top in for third. Sorry. So recapping the numbers, pretty open race. I've left the favourite Shot of Irish out. I think it could definitely get into the numbers, but just wanted to make a case for some of those at a bit of a higher price. So number 3, Juniper on top for me. We hard to beat. Number 6, Connery in for second. In for third, number 11, Something Silver. And in for fourth, number 10, Dane Thunder. Race number 2 over 2,500 metres, benchmark 78. Again, a very open race here. Look at the speed. I'd say at a perfect rhyme. I don't think that horse will back up because it won at Sandown on Saturday. Sorry, it didn't win, came second behind Humboshi on that occasion. But I'd say San Remo, Shangani Patrol also won during the week, so I'd say it'll come out. So the speed has come out of this race a bit. All of a sudden, you just find San Remo, Habisha, and maybe Good Idea finding the top. So there's not a whole lot of speed in this race, as probably what there was when those two were in. I suggest that those two will both come out of the race. Although Perfect Rhyme does have a jockey lined up in Lockie King, so maybe that horse might run off the quick backup. So we'll just keep that in mind. Look, for me in this race, look, I am actually quite keen to make a play at number 9, Good Idea here. I thought last time out at Murray Bridge was pretty good. It was only just beaten by Artie Lucas, and prior to that, it was only beaten by 1.3 lengths, by more than ever. I'll get that out. That horse, of course, goes around here at $2.70. So just a huge price discrepancy for me. I'd rather take the $9 than $2.80, especially considering I think this horse could dictate terms in the lead or sit just outside the lead. No, I think they'll be just bobbing along really slowly. So I'd like to make a case for this horse. So it's number 9, Good Idea at $9 to beat the favourite more than ever. It's got to carry 61 kilos this time round. I know it was really good last time out, being Bling Dynasty at Moonee Valley, and it's going for its 4th win in a row now. It's been absolutely flying this preparation and gets through the soft going. So there's a lot of ticks for it, but it's 61 kilos, and for me, I'd rather make the play at the bigger odds of Good Idea, considering last time out there wasn't that big a difference last time they met. Sorry. Look, and in for third, I'm not going to give up on number 6, Not a Single Cent. I think the last starter on the heavy just didn't handle the heavy conditions too well. They raced on speed, they went really slow. The tempo was against it. Comes back on the soft going, which I think it relishes much more. Of course, it only finished by a Tabby Run, and then prior to that, it beat Wealthy Wolf at Flemington, both on soft conditions. So it's 2 good runs in its last 5 or 6 have been on the soft conditions. So it comes back onto that sort of surface here. I think it'll be much improved under Benny Mellum. So I've got it in for third. And then in for fourth, I can make a case for number 11, De Beer. Now, this horse was really well supported when it was beaten by Char Rosser at Flemington, who goes around in a later race in the card as one of the favourites. And I thought it was a really good run. Prior to that, that was on a heavy track. Prior to that, it won really well at Sandown on a soft track. So comes back on that soft track. I can see a bit of improvement from it as well. So as I mentioned, also, I'll be just keeping a bit of an eye if Matty Dale decides to put Perfect Rhyme into the race, because that'll be a quick backup from Sandown on Wednesday, and I could definitely make a case for it if he does decide to back it up, because Lockie King gets a 2 kilo claim, all of a sudden has 52 kilos, that Bob's long in front, could give a really good kick at Moonee Valley. So just to recap, race number 2, I like number 9, Good Idea on top for Phil Stokes. In for second, number 2, More Than Ever. In for third, number 6, Not a Single Cent. And in for fourth, number 11, De Beer. Moving on now to race number 3. It's a 3-year-old fillies 1,200 metre race. Some really nice ones going around in this one. Look at the speed map here. I'd say that Lady Lupino will find the top. Sassy Solitude will be just not far behind. Deserved will get forward. I'd say Muse might get forward. Not a ton of speed in this race, I don't think. So I think the back markers will be doing a bit of chasing here. This race is pretty hard to split, to be honest. I mean, but I could really make a case for number 7, Deserved here for Matt Kamani. This horse was excellent on debut at Sandown at Lakeside Track. Then it was only beaten by 1 lengths by Charlotte over 1,400 metres at Flemington. So I think this horse is going to resume quite nicely here. It's going to be up on speed, not a whole lot of pace in the race, and I think it'll just be quite hard to chase down, to be honest. So I think it's worth a go at the big each way odds. So I've got it on top of number 9, Andrassy Avenue, who I would like to see him settle it a little bit closer to the speed. It was really well supported when it was beaten by Tara F last time out. Second up stats are much better. Of course, this horse won last time out at Moonee Valley, second up in that dazzling display at Moonee Valley, where it beat Mockery by 2.5 lengths, and then from there went into the Blue Diamond at Caulfield. So I just, again, similar thing with this horse. It was really well supported last time out. I could see an improvement off that run. It did run home pretty nicely. The extra 200 metres will suit really, really well for this horse. If a third, I do like number 2, Kuri Rupp. Look, I have a massive opinion of this horse, and I think 1200 metres is going to suit nicely. This horse, of course, won its debut at Sandown when it was absolutely smashed in the betting. It was really well supported that day. It beat a horse called Flirting, of course. Has been quite good since. Then it beat Memphis Rock in a Group 3 at Morphettville. So this horse has got a lot of ability, and its recent jump out was just terrific. And its trial was terrific as well. So this horse is wound up and ready to go for this race. If a fourth, look, no, this horse hasn't got a jockey just yet, so it's number 3, Tara F. I've just got to put it on, because that win at Moonee Valley last time out was really impressive. Something similar, we'll see it go close here again. It just has to deal with barrier 10, which looks a bit of a sticky draw based on the speed map, but if it could do so, I'd say it will give a good kick. If that horse comes out of the race, I'll make case of number 5, Lady Lupino, who'll be bobbing along in front, and will prove pretty hard to beat. It's a very speedy type, this horse, and I think over 1200 metres will suit very nicely for this. I mean, this is a horse that 3rd and 4th up last prep. It beat Chenier, who was obviously a real boom horse last prep in the autumn at Sandown. Then it went to Randwick in a Group 1 race. That, of course, was the where it was beaten by Castle Vecchio at Randwick over the mile. I mean, and it was only beaten by a couple of lengths. I mean, that's pretty good form to bring into this. So happy to have it in the numbers as well. Look, very open race. Race number 3, but I do like to have number 7 Deserved on top here. I just think it's great each way odds at the $18. I can make a case for it. In for second, number 9, Andrassy Avenue. In for third, number 2, Kuri Rupp. And in for fourth, number 5, Lady Lupino. That is if, of course, number 3, Tara F comes out, who doesn't have a rider as of yet, so I guess that it might be coming out. Race number 4, Mares Benchmark 84 over the 1200 metres. Looking at the speed map here, I'd say that Taikiato, Miss Mandino use the inside barriers to get forward. Algodon Miss will find a good spot, and Street Icon will get across as well. Look, for me, I think this will be a very hard race to have number 6, Algodon Miss out of. It's also had 2 starts at the Valley for 2 wins. It was proven on soft track. It's had 5 starts for 2 wins. Last time out, it obviously beat Tell Me on a soft track. That horse went out and produced well last week on the Kensington track, and of course runs in a really good race up at Randwick. So, I mean, I think that's the right form to bring into this. I think I'll get a really nice run of the race, and I'm happy to have it on top to beat number 10, Street Icon, who will similarly be on speed. Was a little bit disappointing last time out. Just never came on from the back after it missed a jump. But if it can get back and do a similar performance like what it did first up at Caulfield, where it was beaten by Gododin on that occasion, I'd say this horse will be much improved, closer to the speed. If they overdo it, it'll really start nice for number 9, Fabric. This horse will be charging home late. It comes back from the mile, back to the 1200 metres, which is an interesting decision, but Craig Williams goes into the saddle. So if they overdo it, this horse could definitely go over the top of them. Just a bit of a query whether this is a freshen up run for it to go into something further. That'll be a wait and see. But it's win 3 starts back at Flemington. The 1400 was really impressive. A repeat of that sort of effort. We'll see it go very close here. And then if a fourth, I do like the chances of number 2, Miss Norway. Going to give her a chance once again. Mark Zara's in the saddle. Wide barrier, but I really liked how it chased home last time out behind Grey Shadow, and prior to that it was pretty good by Miss Iona, so I think that's pretty good form to bring into this. It comes to Moonee Valley where it's had 2 starts of the track for a win and a placing, so I'm happy to give it another chance. So recapping the numbers on race number 4 at Moonee Valley, number 6, Algodon Miss on top, to beat number 10, Street Icon, in for third, number 9, Fabric, and in for fourth, number 2, Miss Norway. Race number 5, this is over the 1000 metres. This is the Sepelt Wines Carleon Stakes. Look at the speed map here. It's a pretty good field. I'd say Assertive Approach, Ashland and Oakdale will be on speed. And I think this race will set up, we're just going to get straight into it. I think it'll set up really nice for number 5, Spirit of Valor. I really liked its recent jump trial. It's coming off a big break, we haven't seen it since the spring, but looking at the form, I mean, you're looking at Group 1 form line, Santana Lane up the straight. Prior to that, it was beaten by Brave Smasher and Manicato by 0.2 of a length. And then prior to that, it was beaten by 0.8 of a length by Ball of Muscle in a Group 2 at Caulfield. That's far superior form to these. I mean, my only little query is at 1,000 metres first up fresh. But this horse has got stacks of ability. If it could show up and do anything like what it did first up at Caulfield over the 1100, it'll go very close to winning this race. I do like the chances of number 2, Bonds Away. If they overdo it, this horse will power home late. Its trial at Cranbourne was terrific. It was in the same trial as Spirit of Valor. It was arguably better, but as I said, I'm just going to take Spirit of Valor on a bit of class factor. But this horse was terrific. Gets to the soft ground. 4 starts on the soft, going for a win and 2 placings. Can win fresh. Of course, did so last time out. A listed race, beat Written By at Caulfield. So this horse will be ready to go. I mean, this is a horse that finished 4th in Oakley Plate. I mean, it's a top-class sprinter and it can win over the 1,000 metres. So Bonds Away, very good chance. Linda Meach in the saddle from barrier 1 in for second. In for third, number 3, Assertive Approach, of course, was stiffed a lot of punters out last time round it, where it was beaten as $1.70 by the Inevitable. I think the Inevitables are quite a good horse, so I don't think that's too much of a worry. They really did put a bit of a space on the rest of the field, so the form's pretty good out of that. I'm happy to have it in for third. In for fourth, number 1, Oak Door. I thought its win at Caulfield first up over 1100 was terrific. Second up stats are pretty good. It's obviously had the 1 start on the soft track last start where it won, so it'll get through the ground without much of a worry. So recapping the numbers on race number 5. I like number 5, Spirit of Valor on top, so just a bit of a class factor. If they overdo it out front, number 2, Bonds Away will swoop over them late and for second. Either third, number 3, Assertive Approach, and for fourth, number 1, Oak Door. Race number 6 is a 1,519 metre race, open handicap. Look at the speed map here. I'd say Romancer, Strike Force, Goldfields will find the top. Kimono will probably sit just in behind them, but not a whole lot of speed. Now, I'm like a horse at pretty good odds here, and it's I've seen a little bit of support, and it's number 10, Strike Force. Michael Poyer's 2 kilo claim brings down 52 kilos. It'll find the lead. I'd say it'll be very hard to run down if it can be able to dictate terms. This horse had 6 starts at the Valley for 2 wins and 3 placings, so it's got great track stats. We'll get through the soft going. It's 11 starts on it for 2 wins, 3 placings. Its recent win on the heavy being WT at Bendigo, I thought was quite impressive. That was over a mile. Of course, steps back in 100 metres, which I think will be no problems at all. And then, look, ignore that Caulfield run. Prior to that, it was only beaten 5. It was beaten 5 lengths by Elite Drake Caulfield. But I just think that maybe it has turned a corner. It comes back to the Valley, a track that it really relishes, and a distance range that it probably much prefers. So I like to have it on top. I think $15 is a very nice price to take. So I've got it on top to beat number 3, Vinland, who was terrific last time out. Had it on top at the $7.50 and it saluted very nicely. I think it can run well here again. Steps up the extra 100 metres, I think will suit very nice. Only problem is 3 starts on soft track for 1 placing. And it has ran at this track before and it didn't place on that occasion. So, bit of a query there. So, that's why I've got in for second. In for third, look, I do give New Universe a chance once again back to Moonee Valley. Thought it was okay last time out. It looked like it was building into the race and just got cut off at a key stage and was pulled up a bit there. Obviously, it's come through that run well because it's backing up here again off a 7-day backup. So it's had 1 start at the track for 1 win. And of course, that was 2 starts back where it won an open 600 metre race. Only has to do that again here to go close. I've got it in for third. In for fourth, a bit of a query here. This Singapore runner, Volk Stock and Barrel for Danny O'Brien. It's got to carry a lot of weight. This is a group performer over the mile in Singapore. Look, going back, obviously it was previously a group performer in New Zealand. So this horse has got a bit of ability. Blinkers come off. So a bit of a query run, I guess, more than anything. This horse is paying $23. It's definitely got the class edge. I think might need the first up run though, especially carrying 61.5 kilos and a wide barrier. So recapping the numbers for race number 6, I like number 10 Strike Force on top at a bit of each way odds there. Number 3 Vinland in for second. In for third, number 6 New Universe. And in for fourth, number 1's Volk Stock and Barrel. Also give a bit of a chance to Mosh Music. I just think that this horse will be better over further. But of course, did win first up last prep over in a benchmark 64. So albeit a bit of a weaker company. But that was over this sort of distance range. and then it went to Sandown, was only just beating it over the mile, then it hit the 2,000 metres. So this horse can definitely run the distance, and it had 3 starts at the track for 3 wins, so I mean, you got to respect that. But for me, I just couldn't find it. I think it's going to have to be back in the field. It's going to have to produce a really good sprint to come home. I just couldn't find it beating some of the ones that I've got in the top 4. But definitely if you're playing quaddies, I'd have it in there just in case, as well as maybe Romancer as well. Moving to race number 7 over 1,200 metres, 3-year-old race here. Some very nice ones going around. I'd say the speed map, Deep Force will probably get across with the Lifeline. I'd say that'll be the front 2. Condos Express won't be too far behind. Neither will Laporum Star. I'd say Skidor might try and find a place from outside Barron. But you see what Hightail does. This horse obviously won a recent trial at Rose Hill. Rose Hill, I believe it was. And it was a terrific trial win. Actually, I can find it right now for you. It won very easily in that trial, and I'll be interested to see if they take this horse forward. And I know the Snowdens are not messing around. They don't often bring horses down here to Victoria unless it's got a top chance. So I've got to have a bit of respect for it. It's got superior form to these. But for me, I just think that it's going to just suit us. Race going to suit very nice for Condos Express once again here. I just think that it'll be extremely hard to beat. Loved that run last time out at Moonee Valley. I did not, of course, have the numbers. I'm not going to be falling for that again this time round. I thought that was a top run, and just could see it getting a very similar run with Linda Meach in the saddle, just sitting on the inside and powering over the top. And this horse hasn't missed top 2 finish in its 4 starts, so, and we'll get through the soft going. Of course, had the win at the Valley, so got to have a great chance on top for me. I think $4 is a good price. In for second, I like number 1 Hightail. Reasons I outlined. I think this horse is back well here after the gelding operation. It was a terrific trial win at, it was at Ramwick where it beat Karif by 5.5 lengths. Wasn't really roused up too much there. Looking at last prep, it's charge shown by Prince of Sussex at Caulfield. Prior to that, it had form behind Cosmic Force and Super Seth, albeit it was a long way behind them. But prior to that, first prep beating the likes of Avon River, was third in a Magic Millions by an Exhilarate. So, I mean, the form's really good. If we can find something like that once again, it'll beat these. So I've got it in for second, a real big watch on it. In for third, I like the chances of number 2 Hawker Hurricane. This horse, of course, was ran around a group in a Blue Diamond. Prior to that, we put 0.7 length behind I'm Immortal. This horse got plenty of ability. Back in distance, it's got the blinkers off the first time. It's a bit of an interesting move there. So I've got it in for third. In for fourth, I do also give a bit of a chance to number 9 Deep Force. Thought this horse's debut win was terrific. And then last time out, it was just faded a bit on pace at Murray Bridge when it was a $1.30 favourite. But you got to ask, it's been on the soft track twice for 2 placings, albeit last time out was disappointing. But the blinkers come off first time here, and Tony McAvoy, again, he knows how to set his horse. I think this horse, if it gets a good time in the speed, it'll be hard to run down. So recap the numbers on race number 7. I like number 3 Condos Express on top to beat number 1 Hightail. In for third, number 2 Hawker Hurricane. In for fourth, number 9 Deep Force. Moving to race number 8 over 1,200 metres, the benchmark 90 race here. Looking at the speed map, I'd say that Epic Grey and Holbein and Tavasan will probably be forward, as will Terbium. So not a whole lot of speed in this race. I think number 11 Tavasan will be really hard to beat here. I really liked its run last time out at Moonee Valley. As I mentioned, I thought there would be a lot of speed in that race, and it would suit nice for his same bowler to charge over. That's exactly what happened. This horse, though, was really good in defeat, and I thought that was a top run, and I could see it improving once again, down in weights, 55 kilos. And I just think it's a really nice bet to play at $3.40. So I've got it on top to beat number 8 Terbium, of course, probably the class runner of the field. I'd say it is the best horse in the race. Last time out at Morphettville, that was in the Tabit Eclose Stakes, the Group 2 there. Was beaten by Valor Road on that occasion by 2.5 lengths. Prior to that, its form was terrific. Won 4 in a row at its first prep, including a 1.8 length win ahead of Zusane. That was, of course, on Blue Diamond Day. So it's horse got a lot of ability, can get through the soft conditions, no worries. But first up here from the wide barrier, for me, it's just a little bit of a query, especially at $2.90. I'd rather play against it this time around. In for third, look, I do give a bit of a chance number 7 Holbein, to be honest. I thought its recent run at Flemington was pretty good in an open race. That was a 600 metre race. Prior to that, was beaten by Reykjavik by not much. This horse has been around the mark, hasn't been that far off. If it can get a good time on the speed, it will prove really hard to run down. Stephen Richards, of course, does have a bit of success here at Moonee Valley. His horse had the one run at the track for a placing. So I'll give it a bit of a chance to be Bobby Long in front. It'll be hard to run down in for third. And then in for fourth, look, I still respect number 9, Usain Bolt. I don't think they'll go out very hard here, but this horse was terrific last time out, winning at Moonee Valley. Loves running at the track, loves the soft conditions, so I've got to have it in the numbers. So recapping the numbers for race number 8, I like number 11, Tavstan on top to beat number 8, Terbium. In for third at a bit of odds, at number 7, Holbein. And for fourth, number 9, Usain Bowler. Moving on to the final race of the card, it's the Cox Plate distance of 2,040 metres, open race here. Looking at the speed map, I'd say there's a lot of it. Charossa will get forward, another Coldie, Mascalino, Kentucky Breeze likes to get forward, Harrison likes to bob along. Ventura Storm, Taviron, and Inverloch, they'll all be getting forward. So I mean, there is a stack of speed this. I think it'll suit the back markers perfectly. And as such, look, I'm going to be leaning the way of Bedford here. I just think that this horse, as I mentioned, is going to get so much speed in the race. Going to be able to come on from the back really nicely. And it's paying some pretty good odds. I mean, $9 and $3 a place. Just have to work its way off the inside barrier. But I thought it was really good. Chasing home last time out behind Inverloch. And of course, Inverloch on that occasion dictated the terms. Don't think it's going to be able to do so here this time around. I can see an improved effort from this horse second up at the trip. So I'm going to have it on top to beat number 10 Exemplar, of course, as Liam Howley horse. And this horse has got a good chance off the strong speed. I thought it was just okay first up, but looking at its form, it's only had a couple of runs in Australia. It's going to greatly benefit off that first up run. It'll be much better here stepping out to the 2,040 metres. Bit of a query, obviously, first time at the Valley. I mean, it always is with horses, but I think this horse can deal with it. It's got a bit of class factor about it, and as I mentioned, with all the speed in the race, I think it'll be a pretty hard. It'll be charging home late, and it's paying really good odds at the $16. Look, if they don't overdo it out front, sorry, I do think that the one they'll be sticking on might be 1-1 Ventura Storm, who's massively over the odds here. This horse second up comes up to a better distance range. I thought it was just okay first up, but it's obviously always going to be a lot better. This is a horse that ran an Australian Cup at Flemington. Then you look at form in Group 1s behind Avilius and Gaelic Chieftain. I know it was really disappointing last preparation, but this horse got a stack of ability. If it just shows anything up to that, it can beat these. Mark Zara's in the saddle, so I think $41 odds, you'd be silly to leave it out. And look, another one that will be charging on from the back, but has really poor soft track stats is number 4, El Galeo. I thought it was pretty good at last time out, similarly with Bedford. But again, that soft track stats of 6 starts for only 2 placings does concern me somewhat. So, but I've got to leave it in the numbers because it does like the Moonee Valley, and I can see a bit of improvement based off that last run, especially considering the race is going to be run to suit. To recap the numbers on race number 9, pretty open race. Look, I'm happy to go with number 7 Bedford here. I think this race will suit the swoopers nicely. In for second, I like number 10 Exemplar, and for third, number 1 Ventura Storm. So a bit of a class factor there. I couldn't leave it out at $41 odds. And then for fourth, number 4 El Galeo. So that's the preview at Moonee Valley tomorrow. Good luck if you're following. Of course, we're looking to continue our hot streak. We've been terrific recently, hoping to keep on going with plenty of winners. Keep an eye out for the big preview meeting at Randwick coming up in the next video, and of course around the tracks where we look at Morphettville and the Gold Coast. So good luck tomorrow if you're playing. Happy punting, and hopefully we continue to build a bank ahead of spring.